Here is Kevin Kennedy and Rich Herrera with an Inside the Dugout quick fix.
It's not easy to be a baseball fan in Florida today. Evan Longoria traded from the Tampa Bay Rays to the San Francisco Giants. In return, Denard Span goes to Tampa Bay, 2 minor league pitchers, and Christian Arroyo, who was the key to this as a second, third shortstop combo that was the number one prospect in the San Francisco Giants organization.
Well, I saw Christian a lot when he came up. In fact, his debut was against the Dodgers, and he looked like he was going to stay a long time in the big leagues this year. He had a really nice swing. He was a good defender. I saw him play some shortstop when Crawford was down, but I also saw him playing some third base. Plenty of arm, good actions out there. Young guy, high school draft pick, by the way.
Out of Brooksville, yeah.
Had some power in the bat. In fact, he hit a game-winning home run that helped win a game within his first week in the big leagues. And I thought, you know what? They got a pretty good player here. This guy's going to be all right. But then as time went on, of course, I went with the Dodgers, and I wasn't following the Giants because they were off the map for the most part. And then I saw that he got sent down. He wasn't sustaining what he did the first week in the season. But he's an awful young guy, and there's a big future for him. So I get why he was the key to the trade for Tampa Bay, because they got to rebuild again as well. And Denard Span, who really hasn't duplicated what he did in Washington, had a couple of decent years with the Giants as their leadoff guy, but nothing phenomenal overall.
He's a local guy that both Arroyo and Span are from the Bay Area in Tampa.
Yeah, that makes a lot of sense. Denard seems like a good guy. He runs, he steals a few bases, occasional power down the right field line. Very unique batting stance, by the way he closes that front side up. But, he's a veteran guy that, listen, I thought, 3 years ago with the Nationals, I did my top 10 MVP picks. I put him number 10. I thought he was that good when that last year with the Nationals before he got hurt. So he's got some ability, but Arroyo is the key. And then you and I both know Longo.
I tweeted out, and I said it a couple of days ago on Twitter, that I think if I was out there looking for a target third baseman, I would take Evan Longoria over Manny Machado and anybody else out there.
I'll tell you what, this is a great deal for the Giants. This guy, first of all, I got to talk about his defense, because if you haven't seen him defensively, he's as good as there is defensively. I didn't know much about him when I joined Tampa Bay in 2009 and 10 to do games on TV for them. I only heard his name. And I used to hear people teasing about Evan Longoria or Eva Longoria. That was the big joke.
No relation.
No relation at all.
By the way, Bronson Arroyo and Christian Arroyo, same high school, same town, not related.
No, not related.
Not related. I had to look that up.
But Evan Longoria was a dirtbag out of Long Beach State, and he's got tremendous ability, great power. But I was really impressed with his defense and the defensive drills that Tom Foley would do with him from his knees, doing drills almost every day. I saw him do that drill when I got to the ballpark after the radio show I was doing on Sirius XM. He was always out there working on his defense as much as his offense. You know that, Rich. You got there very early doing pre and post and everything else. And I was really impressed with his range, with his hands, accurate arm, knew exactly where to go with the ball. As good as there was coming in on the bunt, slow rollers, phenomenal defensive third baseman. I don't think he's lost a step myself, because I've watched a few of their games from time to time just because I'm a fan of his ability. From the offensive side, I know he hit 20 home runs and he hit in the 260s and all that. Evan has always said, and he said this to me one time in an interview, post-game, Dwayne Stats and myself did the post-game interview, and we were talking about RBIs and versus batting average, and Dwayne brought it up. And Evan said, I'm not really worried about the batting average. I'm more concerned about making sure I drive the run in. And so he might hit 275, he might hit 290, but he's going to knock in. If you get men on base for him, he's going to knock in, what would you say, Rich, 90 to 100?
Oh, 90 to 100 easily. He's never had anybody protect him. He had Carlos Pena for about a year and a half.
Never. Yeah.
They tried Hank Blaylock. They tried Eric Hinsky. They tried Cliff Floyd. They tried Pat Burrell to protect Evan Longoria. He's really never had consistent hitters around him. So to hit that in such a soft lineup, and the Rays did not score a lot of runs, nor were they built to score a lot of runs, for him to put up the numbers that he did on a team that was offensively challenged, you put him in the middle of that Giants lineup, you take him out of Tropicana Field, he doesn't play on the turf anymore, you put him in that big, expansive ballpark in San Francisco, he's going to hit line drives. They're going to roll for days.
You know, you could put him in front of Buster Posey, so he might get a few more pitches. And I'll tell you, in San Francisco, he's got power to right field, right center field, obviously left field power. And I know the ball doesn't jump in San Francisco, but he may not hit, 35 home runs as a Giant. But I'll tell you what he will do. He'll hit that gap out there in right center field, and he's going to have some doubles and triples because he plays hard. He can run a little bit. He can occasionally steal a base if you want him to, but he just knows how to play. He's a gap-to-gap guy. He's got good pull power. He's got a unique setup, but he's got very good leverage with the lower half of his body. Got quick hands, good bat speed, and he's a great guy on a ball club, quality guy. And as I said, a tremendous third baseman. This is a win for the Giants, in my opinion.
Inside the Dugout with Kevin Kennedy and Rich Herrera can be found on iTunes, Stitcher, TuneIn Radio, and RadioInfluence.com.